Archer City, Texas, but no golf today. I guess I left the trail to go visit my favorite author's bookstore, Larry McMurtry, who died last year. Yeah, he was the author of Lonesome Dove, probably his most popular book. I bought it 10 times, at least. I'd read it, give it away, buy another copy, read it, give it away, and so on and so forth. I just wanted to pay it forward, you know? Man, it feels like I'm driving right into one of his novels right now. The big sky, the grasslands, the emptiness. But his novels were about people, and that's what made them so great. There it is, 1986 Pulitzer Prize winner for fiction. You know, it was made into a miniseries, and I think most people got to know Larry McMurtry's work from that, with Robert Duvall and Tommy Lee Jones. And another classic, Jack Nicholson, Shirley MacLaine. Same with Last Picture Show. That was made into a movie too. All these movies in the miniseries were full of Oscars and Emmys, but they all began on one man's typewriter right here. And here we are, real time, Archer City. Looks just like the Last Picture Show setting, doesn't it? That's no coincidence. You can hear the wind pushing on the door. There's scotch tape holding it from blowing in. So I stopped filming and began taking pictures because the folks who were running the bookstore were a little uncomfortable about that. I think they thought I was doing it for commercial reasons, and that was not allowed. I told them that, well, you know, I have 19 viewers on my channel, and they're either family, friends, or a few former students of mine. But I wanted to respect them, so I just took pictures and did voiceover. It occurred to me right off the bat that the place looked like Mr. McMurtry was still there because he loved to collect books. He loved to go and take books out of boxes and look at each one, see what kind of gems he might find in them. He herded books like cattle and just kept adding and adding and adding to his collection. The Western theme was everywhere, but Mr. McMurtry loved all books. Every genre, old and new, actually not so many new, lots of old, mainly books that made you smarter. You didn't see a lot of harlequins or whodunits, how to get rich or how to find love or celebrity confessions, the ones that are all air and fluff. These were meaty books. These books had backbone. Don't get me wrong, there were some comic books there too and other things, but they all seemed to touch a certain part of history. Speak of the devil, there's one right there. If you are familiar with critical race theory, but you know, Mrs. Lee, rest in peace, and Larry McMurtry, they both convinced me to change my major to become a writer and then a teacher, and I made my kids read them both. I started looking at the books that hadn't been fully categorized yet or cataloged, and I thought about how McMurtry was probably touched by everything he read, especially his women were so strong in all of his novels, well, almost all of them, and his honest, raw portrayal, not of the myth, but of the facts of the West. Still, he wrote with such a flair. He had such a wit, especially the dialogue between his characters. Posters were also part of the experience at the bookstore. And his personality was there too. As you can see here, the irony of the American West. Ooh, conflict. You got a dime novel story here, maybe. But seriously, as far as horses and cows go, the man knew everything about them. He came from 3 generations of ranchers, and he heard it all at the kitchen table as a boy. He knew his craft. He lived it, especially his present day novels. Now, Mr. McMurtry wrote a whole lot of books. These are just his standalones. Lonesome Dove, Terms of Endearment, and Last Picture Show, they were part of series. So we're talking over 30 novels in all. Looking over this list, it's time for me to reread Anything for Billy and Buffalo Girls. It's been quite a few years since I've read those. Oh, man. Thank you, Mr. McMurtry, for your whole body of work. You've enriched the lives of so many people. It just boggles my mind. The power of the written word.